North Avenue Bakery, Hotel Praia Sol, Luís Firmino Insurance, MCM Clinic, Top Burger, Go Car Service, Coimbra Restaurant. Olá, caros amigos, muito boa noite, bem-vindos a mais um Legal Way. É sempre um prazer estarmos na vossa companhia. And it is my pleasure to welcome once again Dr. George Russo. Doctor, thank you very much for your availability to be here tonight.
My pleasure, thank you for having me.
Doctor, so many things that are happening right now. Off record, you just mentioned Iago Hurtado case. Can you explain exactly what happened and how that becomes beneficial for those that cross the border and without checking in, and now will be able to get a bond?
Okay, so in immigration, there's immigration court, and then there is what's called the Board of Immigration Appeals. These are all part of the federal government and the executive branch. It's not like the federal courts that people think of, like, oh, if you file something in court, you're in the judicial system. This is in the executive branch. These people can be hired and fired directly by the president or the president's appointees. So the matter of Iago Hurtado is a case that came out last year that basically said that anyone who is present in the United States without inspection is ineligible for an immigration bond under an immigration court. So this made huge categories of people who entered the United States through the border or any way without inspection ineligible for bond. He would try to file a bond and a judge would say, I do not have jurisdiction. Your client is now subject to mandatory detention. Okay, so just on February 18th, a few weeks ago, a federal court issued a decision basically overturning that, saying this is incorrect. That's, of course, just one federal court, but there is another federal circuit, the Fifth Circuit, more conservative in Texas, so it wouldn't apply to people here in the New Jersey area, but they ruled the opposite way. The government is sure to appeal, but this is good news in the sense that if you know someone who's been detained under Iago Hurtado, you should probably speak to someone to see if maybe there's a new chance for them to get bond, especially if they've been detained in the last month or two.
Because that becomes, a huge question. It was a case, for Portuguese that was detained here, and the family tried to get a bond, get him out for a certain period of time. And what are the chances for someone that being detained by immigration, that is here illegally, getting a bond? What are the options for that person? What the bond can take him to?
Well, it depends on
the case, right?
Yeah, some of the first questions that I would inquire is there a criminal background? Do they have any type of criminal case in their history that might work against them? And second, what are their potential opportunities for relief? Right, defense to deportation. All right, so if someone who's got no defense to deportation, a judge is unlikely to rule that a judge is unlikely to grant them a bond. They might say, well, you're a flight risk because you don't have a way to defend your deportation, you're just not going to show up to the next court, right? So one of the arguments that you want to make is you want to say, Judge, my client's never been arrested. They have an opportunity for relief, whatever that may be. It could be legalization through their spouse or legalization through their child. And then say, with this opportunity for relief, this individual is not a flight risk, please grant them an immigration bond. If that immigration bond is not working or is not approved, then that's when you would want to explore a habeas corpus motion.
So let me ask you that question because I think that is important for our audience to understand. So someone that is being detained by an immigration officer, by ICE agent, and that person, for example, is married with an American citizen, and it is in process to, or about to start the paperwork to become legal in this country. Getting a bond, it is an option for that person if that person has no criminal record.
Yeah, it's an option.
It is an option. What about if that person has a criminal record? Depending on the criminal
It
record?
depends on the criminal record, and then it is an option, but they'll look for any excuse to deny it based on a danger to the community. And a lot of that is up to the discretion of the judge. So you're definitely going to want to get together, the police report. If the case was dismissed or downgraded, you're going to want to get proof of that. You're going to want to get character statements that attest to your good character, and anything else that can kind of rehabilitate your image in the eyes of the judge.
So basically, because is that sense out there that you've been detained and therefore all the doors are closing on you. But it is always option, and I'm reinforcing that, right? For every single one that is here illegally, for ABC reason, disregarding the case, a legal counseling is the best option. With your experience as an attorney, it is important that everyone presents their case to an attorney to make sure that they exhausted all the options, because maybe more than one option depending on the case.
Yeah, for sure. You never know. Everyone's history is different, so you never know what options might apply to some people, might not apply to other people. I can't tell you how many times I've had someone say, well, this worked for this person and they're similar to me, why can't it work for me? Well, everyone's situation is different, and everyone's got different facts that, that sometimes they don't want to share all those facts that might help or hurt their case. So you definitely need an individualized opinion.
So I have a case, someone that just reached out to us from Garfield, New Jersey. This person is married to a Portuguese man that became resident in the United States through marriage. So her husband becomes resident through a marriage with an American citizen. Mm-hmm. He got divorced 5 years ago. Got divorced when he was an American citizen already. Now, what needs to be done for him to legalize his wife? What roadblocks he may be facing in that process? He got divorced 5 years ago, became American citizen 7 years ago, and now he wants to legalize his new wife.
His
they
wife's
come
from where?
From Brazil, come on the visa, overstay the visa.
Right. Okay. So in that case, they need to make sure that they are eligible to marry each other, which means they're both legally single, and that they have the certified divorce decree as if they've been married before to show that they're legally single and free to marry. And then they need to show that there's a visa immediately available to them because they're married. They're considered an immediate relative, so there would be. So it sounds like this person is eligible to adjust their status to green card.
Now, he's telling me that his wife was married in Brazil, got divorced there before she came to the States. What paperwork does she need to make sure that the United States recognize her marriage here? What she needs to bring from Brazil?
Her Brazilian marriage certificate and then her Brazilian divorce certificate.
Só fica aqui, portanto, a informação. Não há qualquer problema, portanto, cidadão americano, conseguiu a sua cidadania através do casamento, depois divorciou-se, pode legalizar a nova esposa terá que trazer a documentação inerente quer ao divórcio, quer ao casamento que posteriormente foi anulado no Brasil. Doctor, let's talk about travel ban, Brazilian travel ban, where we are standing and still in effect?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a travel ban as much as I'd call it a ban on immigrant visa. Not a ban, well, they're calling it a temporary pause on immigrant visas. So what that means, if you're Brazilian or Colombian or any of the other countries that apply to, I think there's like 75 of them, and you're inside the United States and you're eligible to adjust your status inside the U.S., this does not apply to you. However, if you need to return to Brazil, for instance, if you've been approved for your waiver, your 601A waiver, and you have an interview, or you're supposed to have an interview at the U.S. Embassy in Rio, they're not scheduling those right now, okay? Or if you're trying to legalize one of your family members and they're in Brazil, and you're at the finish line, you're just waiting on them to schedule the interview, they're not going to schedule it just yet. And this doesn't apply to tourists, so if there's Brazilians that are looking to come for the World Cup,
they can come.
I mean, whether or not you should come, whether you want to come,
correct,
is a different story, but you are free to come on a non-immigrant visa, which is a tourist visa. But as for people who are looking to legalize permanently their relatives, that at least is going to have to wait. I know there's been lawsuits filed to try and overturn that because it's based on a really stupid justification. But we'll have to see just a little more patience.
If the person is in the United States, for example, someone that wants to legalize a daughter that is in Brazil, you will be able to put the process here?
Yeah, they can start, for sure.
They can start?
Yeah.
Is no...
Well, they won't have that interview that we talked about, just not yet. They won't be scheduled for that.
But they should start the process because that can be overturned anytime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The faster you start, the faster it gets done, right?
Correct, because I have another question from one of our people that is watching us. That person was deported 10 years ago. I think that we have that question last week, 2 weeks ago, but I think that is always good to reinforce that. So, he was deported, coming back to the States, was able to come to the States, has a green card right now. Has been on the green card since 2020, so 6 years now. Wants to become American citizen. What are the chances to be deported because of that deportation? What are the chances to lose this green card? No crimes after.
He was deported.
He was
and then
deported.
got his green card after.
Yes.
Extremely low.
So nothing will happen, right?
No. Well, I never want to say nothing, but his deportation won't be held against him.
Because the case was already approved.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So whatever issue that led to his deportation must have been overcome in order for him to have been approved for the green card. So they're focused more on, when you apply for citizenship, they're focused more on the last 5 years and what you've done since you've gotten your green card.
So
Not before that.
Not before. So this person has a very unique question. He's telling me that he had a court case about 15 years ago for a traffic violation. He was driving without license. But in the meantime, he was deported, went back to Brazil, was able to come back, get the green card. Can that case from 15 years ago make him accountable for any type of decision, since was not taking in consideration when he applied for a green card? Nobody spoke about that.
Driving without a license? He got deported for that?
No. He was deported for, he was caught here, but he was deported. He was working,
Right.
was a ride, so they asked him for ID, was deported at that time. Was
Right.
able to come back through marriage. He married an American citizen, but he has a court that he never attended prior of him to become legal here. So when he came back, he was able to do all the process in Brasilia, based on what he tells me, and during his interview, nothing was told in reference to the case, the court case that he has when he was, stopped driving without a drive license. It's concerning because he's seeing, he mentioned even an influencer that was detained because of a court case. Can that happen to him? He has a green card right now. Can they go back basically 15 years ago and say, hey, you never show up to that court?
If he has an open bench warrant? I guess so, yeah. Sure. I'm like surprised that it hasn't come up at all in this long.
So
One thing that he might want to do is he might want to do a fingerprint check. He can do an FBI fingerprint background check and get his own criminal history and see, like, to see what's happening.
O que o doutor está a referir para o nosso telespectador que fez essa pergunta, é muito importante que faça o seu próprio background check, através, portanto, seus fingerprints, portanto, impressões digitais, para ter a certeza que nada está no seu record criminal. Doctor, let me just clarify that. So, when you order your background check, you will be able to see if there's anything pending against you.
Yeah.
And that will be the first step for him to become, because all that he wants to do is to become American citizen to avoid any one of those situations. So
Right.
it's fair to say that that person may face a potential problem before even putting or starting and the application to become American citizen, making sure that his criminal record is clear.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, just because I said that for him, does not mean I'm saying that to everyone else, right? If you're unsure, don't necessarily run to go get your fingerprints done to see like what might have come up, because there's certain situations where getting your fingerprints done and running your name through the system could set off an alarm bell for someone. But in his situation, someone with a green card and some type of traffic-related offense who wants to just make sure that there's nothing.
Because he can't take care of that situation before he applies.
Exactly. Yeah. That for him, it would be a good idea. Because when you submit an immigration form, you'll have to shortly after they send you for biometrics, which is fingerprints and photograph, right? So they run your information through their database, and all that stuff comes up. So if you don't want to have any surprises, it might make sense.
Doctor, let's talk about timelines. Someone that is illegal in the United States and wants to get married, has been living with a person for a couple of years now, wants to get married, come from Portugal through an airport with a visa. What is the timeline for that person to become legal in the United States in the normal situation? No criminal history, no any other situations. The only thing wrong that person did was basically overstay their visa.
I would say 6 months to a year, maybe less, maybe more. Don't quote me on the times, because I've had cases that I've filed and they've gotten their green card in 2 months, and then I've had the same exact case that I've filed and then it takes a year to get their green card. And don't ask me How some people get lucky and some people don't, because I don't know.
But the process, it is very straightforward. Submit all the application, then a couple interviews, all the process. Does that person will get at the work authorization first or automatically the green card? How that works?
They used to get work authorization first. There used to be a work card that came when you filed a green card application, a family-based green card application. But now they've been very, very quick with the interviews, scheduling interviews, that a lot of people will get the green card even before, like, they just won't even send a work authorization. They'll just, if everything goes according to the plan, you'll get your green card. So there's no need for a temporary work authorization card in the middle.
Another question. It is any difference in the case that a person that overstay a visa from Brazil versus a person that coming and overstay their ESTA from Portugal?
A huge difference.
A huge difference?
Huge difference.
What are the biggest difference as far as timeline and decision?
As far as the timeline, there's not much of a difference. But the consequences of ending up in immigration court are a lot steeper for people coming on ESTA, on a overstay. And that's because people that come on a tourist visa are entitled to full deportation proceedings.
Okay.
Right? People that come on ESTA and they're not entitled to full deportation proceedings. They're entitled to what's called asylum-only proceedings, which means exactly what it says. That you can only file an asylum claim. Okay.
Nothing else.
Exactly. So
a person that coming on the ESTA, for example, in 2020, and married an American citizen now, what are the chances to become legal? They overstay 5 years, their ESTA.
They're good.
They're good.
They're good. Assuming there's no other issues.
Having no issues, they good.
Let me be clear. If you are out of status, and you are a visa out of status means you've overstayed your visa or your ESTA, and you're married to a U.S. citizen, and you have the opportunity to get legal, most of the time, I'm going to say that you should do it. Most of the time, right?
Should be no issue.
Yeah, there should be no issue, and you should want to do it. I mean, it'll bring less stressful. It'll lower your stress levels if you do it.
O que o doutor disse, e eu vou aproveitar para fazer aqui uma pequena introdução, porque eu penso que é muito importante. Se ficou mais do que o tempo que um ESTA lhe permitia, e se tem a oportunidade de ficar legal, se não tem qualquer problema criminal, se não tem qualquer problema que coloque em causa essa decisão, deve aplicar para ter o seu cartão verde sem qualquer problema. Porquê? Porque é um caso, digamos que simples, porque não tem qualquer contencioso criminal associado. Portanto, é uma decisão que tem que fazer. Doctor, I have someone asking me here, they are in the country for 7 years from Ecuador. Was able to come, with a visa as a daughter that married an American citizen and become American citizen too. Can that daughter claim the father?
The Ecuadorian
The
daughter?
Ecuadorian, she come to the country with the father.
Right.
Was able to get married with someone.
And she's now a U.S. citizen?
She's U.S. citizen.
She did that all in 7 years? Good for her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the daughter is a U.S. citizen and her father...
So basically, this is a family that come with the daughter when she was 18 years old. That's
Okay.
what he tells me. The daughter was, was able to attend college, find out someone, got married. after 3 years applied for citizenship, was able, is now an American citizen. Can they claim the father?
Yeah, sounds like they can, yeah.
Yeah. It's a straightforward process too,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
if it's no legal implications?
Assuming, yeah, I mean, of course, there's always other issues that pop up, but yeah, it could be a straightforward case, yeah.
Só fica aqui, portanto, o caso que um filho pode pedir, fazer o pedido para um pai, não deverá haver problemas desde que não haja qualquer complicação legal. Eu vou aproveitar para dar o número de telefone do Dr. Jorge Russo, 973-444-9120. Os escritórios estão localizados no 48 da Wilson Avenue. Doctor, I have another question from a Brazilian couple. They've been here for 22, I believe 22 years. 2.2 got to be 22 years. They have a daughter that was born here. She's now 18. When that daughter can claim the parents?
How did they come into the country?
Through Mexico. Both. Father and mother.
Through the border?
Yeah, through the border.
And were they fingerprinted? Probably not. Well, okay, so...
Let me ask. I don't know. No.
This question... Okay.
Let's reply no.
Okay. So, the daughter, once you turn 21, you can file a petition for your spouse, your children, or your parents, okay? The problem is they're not eligible to adjust their status here in the U.S. because they do not have a lawful entry. So that means they need to go back to their home country, in this case Brazil, for the interview, okay? Most people will apply for the waiver.
Okay.
But there is no waiver for child to parent. So they won't be eligible for a waiver. So there's basically, unless, of course, there's an exception if the child is in the military. There's a loophole for that.
So,
there's one other thing. Hold on.
Go ahead, Doctor.
That I would ask if you said they came here a long time ago.
Yeah, 22 years. That's
Before 2001, or I guess that would
no,
be after.
2000 will be 2004. Yeah, they just.
Okay, so then that doesn't apply. Okay, so for certain people that came here before 2001 and filed some type of petition, they might be eligible for a different law called 245I. Okay, but if you came here from in 2004, that's not an option for you.
What is that 245I? Is it different? Is it a type of pardon?
Yeah, 245I allows people that filed a petition, a family petition, or a labor contract, a work petition. Even if it wasn't approved, if you properly filed it before, there's two cutoff dates, 2001 and 1998. There's different restrictions depending on when you filed it. Then that will allow you, even if you cross the border, to adjust your status here in the U.S. So if you've been here for a long time, so if you've been here since before 2001 and you have a family member that can petition for you, you should speak to a lawyer because there might be a loophole for you that does not apply to other people.
Aqui fica muito importante, nós vamos voltar ao caso do telespectador que nos contactou com essa situação, mas aqui está um caso muito interessante. Se veio para os Estados Unidos antes de 2001, ou 1998 you mentioned, the other...
Yeah, 2001 and 1998.
Se veio para os Estados Unidos antes de 2001 ou 1998, a Lei 245I poderá ter algumas ramificações que poderão trabalhar em seu favor, portanto deve contactar um advogado. Doctor, going back to that case, 22 years here, the daughter now is 18 years old, 21. will be able to, will be no pardon for the parents, means that they need to go back to Brazil and do the process there, or they will need to wait the 10 years to get their paperwork.
They'll have to leave, wait 10 years in Brazil, and then they can come back.
There's no other options.
Not without the daughter in the military or 245I. No.
Correct. So, fica aqui, portanto, o esclarecimento para o nosso telespectador. Portanto, se entrou depois de 2001 sem, entrou pelo México ou pela fronteira do Sul e não tem, portanto, um registro de entrada, se é do Brasil, neste particular caso, terá que esperar 10 anos no Brasil para que possa ser pedido por um filho para ter a sua legalização aqui nos Estados Unidos. Is that to conclude, Doctor, because we are getting to the time, but I think that this is important. If they come from a country like Portugal, that they have no visa, ESTA, or it's exactly the same if they come through the border, correct?
Right. Yeah.
There is no changes, no different scenarios.
Yes. It doesn't exactly matter because Portugal hasn't always been on ESTA.
Okay.
When did Portugal get added? Was it 1999?
Something like that.
Something
yes.
like
Something
that.
like
So
that,
mostly, yeah. So if you were from Portugal and you've been here since before 1999, then the time periods kind of overlap. That a lot of the people, then you're just treated like a normal tourist visa overstay.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Ok, fica então aqui alguns dos esclarecimentos. Doctor, I have one more question that I think that is important. DACA recipient, okay? Well, can you tell us a quick overview where we are as far as the DACA, and is any final developments? Is that person under DACA, what are the chances to become American citizen?
Well, again, depends on their entry and their ability to change their status and everything that we've talked about before. If you're on DACA, keep renewing your DACA, right?
Okay.
DACA is deferred action. Right now, it's still good. You're still good to renew your DACA. Do not let it lapse. Okay, it's very important to not do that. If you submit a new DACA application, there's not that many of them. If you submit a new DACA application, they're not going to be able to approve it because the lawsuit's still pending to decide on the future of DACA. But whether or not you can't get legal through DACA, but DACA protects you from deportation.
Correct.
Right?
So I think that the key point here will be, if you have a DACA case, keep renewing that case.
Absolutely.
Now, a person that endangers in any criminal activity under DACA will be able to renewal, or that criminal record may have an impact on that DACA renewal decision?
Speak to a lawyer.
Speak to a lawyer.
The Secretary of Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, she made some comments recently this past week about the fact that they've deported, I think like 80 DACA holders, but they deported them because they had criminal records.
Okay.
Right? So if you're on DACA and you've been arrested and it's time for you to renew your DACA, speak with a lawyer, right? Because filing a DACA and then once again, when you do the biometric fingerprints, that that flags the system, and then all of a sudden you could be in immigration court again. So definitely speak to a lawyer if you're on DACA and you've been arrested.
E aqui fica, portanto, a informação do Dr. George Russo, muito importante. Mesmo no processo de renovação da DACA, se há qualquer problema, verifique com o advogado antes de fazer essa renovação. 973-344-9120, Os escritórios do Dr. George Russo estão localizados no 48 Wilson Avenue, aqui na cidade de Newark. Doctor, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for that opportunity once again. And I hope that you at home as well got well informed. And again, making sure that you get the support from someone that can explain to you what your case entails, because it is, depending on the case, can be the outcome.
Absolutely.
Obrigado por terem estado uma vez mais na nossa companhia. Foi mais um Legal Way com o Dr. George Russo. Tenham um ótimo dia.